They're doing a lot of kind of different stuff. They're definitely trying to be creative, maybe trying to be kind of a trendsetter, but he's definitely going for a style and aesthetic that's kind of his own and trying to push it in a different direction than SHINee, which is really cool. Hey everybody, how's it going? I've got a brand new music video reaction / review coming at you today, and this one is for Drip Drop by Taemin, another solo project from Taemin. I'm pretty excited about it. Obviously, Taemin is a member of SHINee, which in my opinion is one of the very best K-pop groups in terms of vocal performance, song choice of what they put out, everything else. So I have very high expectations for this. Let's jump right in and check it out. Here we go. Amazing scenery. Oh, that's crazy.
촉촉히 내리는 널 닿아서 떨리는 수면의 원 달콤한 중력을 닫고 온 널 피할 수 없어 내 맘에 drip drop 넌 한 방울씩을.
Really cool production up to this point, really building everything up. Really cool, like sonic textures. It's kind of floating.
Drip, drop on me.
Here comes that kind of SHINee experimental sound in the backing track. Oh, this is really cool. It's like glitching, cutting in and out.
마음 두드린 간지러운 속삭임 이 감정은 Baby, baby 너를 심해 잠긴 내 부름보다 푸른 그 색은
Really like that effect.
날씨도 좋아 너만 있다면 먹구름의 변한 그늘이 되지 빗방울이 넌 내게 바다가 되지 눈앞에 커다란 오션 날 집어삼키는 모션 헤어날 수가 없어 Yeah, 어우 정신 좀 차려 귀청대지 말고 다시 길을 잡아 또 틱톡 시간 흘러가 늦은 밤 어디로 난 다시 또 올려 이 역풍을 헤쳐 그녀를 향한 항해를 해 천천히.
That was a really cool little stalled transition there. That snare sample coming in really gave it a lot more like kick power behind the beat. Changed the whole feel of it. This is rhythmically really interesting, and the vocal parts too. The rhythms that he's actually singing and kind of choosing along the way are pretty interesting. Oh, this is awesome.
마음이 커져가는 속도를 따라 내 시간에 네가 흘러와 꿈꾸듯 편한 느낌 원래 하나인 것까지 우린 춤을 추고 있어
The production sounds absolutely wonderful, but it's a really weird kind of sonic palette that they're drawing from. It works really well though. It's just something kind of out there, a little experimental. And I do really like the kind of more jazzy, dissonant chord progressions throughout this whole thing. When coupled with that style of production and songwriting, it makes for a kind of distant and like emotionally stark kind of feeling that you get from the song, because the dissonances and the way it progresses kind of lends itself to feeling a little more tense. You know, they keep that tension going on there, and it never quite resolves. And also with that kind of glitchy, like almost electric piano type sounding synthesizer, it just feels kind of unstable. You know, it's inherently exciting and keeps you on the edge of your seat, because you're used to hearing, you know, organ and electric piano with some tremolo effects and maybe some rotary speaker effects, but to have that really hard, like glitched in and out where it's going from almost no volume or no volume, and then chopping all the way back in, you know, it's really pulsating quickly. That's not something that you usually hear on that type of instrument that often. So obviously it looks like the music video has ended, but I think this was a really interesting song. They're doing a lot of kind of different stuff. They're definitely trying to be creative, maybe trying to be kind of a trendsetter. It's pretty clear, I think, that in Taemin's solo work, he's trying to be kind of a like trend-setting or pioneering type of artist. You know, he's kind of pushing the envelope a little bit on what we're generally used to hearing in K-pop. And SHINee does that too in a lot of ways, but not quite in the same way that Taemin is doing it. So it's cool that he's kind of continuing that theme that SHINee does of being, you know, out there, kind of experimental, that type of thing. But he's definitely going for a style and aesthetic that's kind of his own and trying to push it in a different direction than SHINee, which is really cool. You know, this music video is basically being out in the desert. The scenery was amazing. The choreography just looked really sharp from someone like me who isn't really into dancing or anything. But it went with the music and the concept extremely well. And since I don't know that much about choreography, when I see a song where the music video and the choreography is kind of enhancing what you're hearing, you know, it's another form of art that taps into other senses. You know, you're adding the visuals to something that's mostly a hearing experience in the music. And when those two things are working together to enhance the song, which is the main art form that we're covering with a musician like this in a music video, that's something that's really cool that I take notice of, that I like to see. I also noticed that the production was extremely good. The mixing, the mastering, everything sounded really balanced across the entire frequency spectrum. And even though it was kind of a more experimental sounding song, it didn't make the overall production sound odd in any way. They made it sound conventionally good with a very unconventional kind of tonal mixture and everything else that was going on in the song. And that's probably not the easiest thing in the world to accomplish, so they did an amazing job with that. And the final thing that I'm actually extremely impressed with was the songwriting itself and the arranging. There's just so many cool little motifs and where they put things in and where they left things out. Everything was really clever, and you could tell that it was well thought out, and it just really enhanced the impact of this song. You know, if it had been like this with the kind of experimental feel and this general song overall, but it was missing all of those little like icing on the cake type of things, it wouldn't have been nearly as cool. But they managed to cram in a whole bunch of those. So I'll try to talk about all those things when we watch through again, so let's go ahead and jump right in and do that. Here we go. Just this shot, absolutely incredible. That's so cool. The other thing I noticed about this mix, they used space incredibly effectively. Time-based effects, reverb, and delays. It gives you a huge feeling of like depth and width in the mix when you're listening on headphones or good speakers. It's like you can reach out and touch the different sounds. And there's a lot of space in the mix. It's not super overly dense and jam-packed with stuff. There's room to breathe and kind of hear, you know, things echo and die out, all that stuff.
Drip, drop, drip, drop on me.
And hear how they're kind of panning back and forth, especially with the delays. They're going from the left to right side a lot, kind of making you feel like you're in the center of something that's spinning around. Check out these kind of rhythmic figures that Taemin's tackling with his vocals. It's adding a lot of groove to the song just in the vocal parts, nothing with the beat or having to do with the beat. This song grooves really hard, and a lot of it is driven by the vocals. That's kind of uncommon. Usually, you know, rhythmic instruments or like a chord instrument like a piano or a guitar playing rhythmic figures are kind of the driving force behind that, but this is the vocals doing a lot of it in this song. Again, the beat kind of changes the feel here. Backs off a little bit. All these kind of auxiliary percussion instruments are really effective. It's not like traditional drum set type of sounds for a lot of this. And just the songwriting stuff, you know, those delayed transitions. It's kind of dropping out and maybe hitting on a beat that you didn't quite expect it to hit really hard on. Very cool stuff. It's just that like extra 10% in the song that makes it really, really excellent. How about these vocals? Check out those harmonies too. Here's some reverse reverb effects going on. A little bit hidden in there, but there's definitely some reverse reverb. It gives you that like rushing towards you whooshing sound. It got kind of this like jazz motif solo here on that synth part. And then they kind of ended it on that. So very, very interesting arrangement. A lot of cool stuff going on songwriting wise. Maybe some things that weren't quite predictable or expected when you were first listening to it. You know, the hits on 2 are on upbeats instead of the first beat of the measure, and transitions. There's just all kinds of really cool stuff going on. And I feel like this just fits Taemin extremely well. I feel like he's comfortable doing this type of thing, even though it's very difficult to pull off something like this. It definitely seems to be something that he enjoys doing and can accomplish. So I am extremely impressed with this. The more you listen to it, I think you'll find more hidden things and hidden layers. Even though the song's not super, super densely packed, there's so many just little things adding on to it that you'll probably notice more of those as you listen more and more. So let me know what you guys thought about this song. I want to know 2 things from all of you. 1, do you think this style fits Taemin? Do you think he pulls it off well? And 2, what were some things that you didn't notice the first time, but as you've watched it over and over again, you started to notice, or something that just like jumped out at you seemingly from nowhere that was there the whole time, but you just never noticed until you listened to it a few times through? Let me know all that stuff in the comment section. I'm looking forward to hearing what you all have to say. And thanks for watching this music video reaction / review. Please like, comment, subscribe. If you could share this video all over the place, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, forums, all that stuff really helps me out, and I'll see you guys next time.